Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This year I want to start with some story times which definitely changed my life, and the one which I'm going to share with you today is my work and travel summer experience in United States, which actually happened in 2014, so almost 5 years ago. One of the most popular programs of international cultural exchange, Work and Travel program, provides an opportunity for students to go and spend their summer vacation in United States and probably a lot of other countries, especially from Europe. But if you choose United States, you'll apply to a J1 visa, which allows you to work for 3 months, earn money, and travel 1 month at the end of the summer. So you can stay 4 months in the United States and have a wonderful time.
I know you guys thought they were pretty smart, but you got me right down to earth. Think you're a genius, you try. I know you're regular, original, know you all.
I think I did when I went to the university in the first year. A lot of my friends went to the States with this program, but I was not so much into it. I never flew before. I was so afraid of flying. For me, American dream was something like, whatever, I don't want to go to the States. I don't know, I had this mentality. I can't explain why I thought like that until the second year of my university, when I think it was close to the Christmas time. I was working as a waitress, and what happened, I served one of my friends and she was, oh, I'm going to the States with work and travel program, do you want to join? And I was like, okay, I'm joining. So I think it was one of the most spontaneous decisions I ever made. So I was supposed to go with that friend and with a lot of friends of hers, so we were a big group. And when you're going with a lot of people, it's quite hard to find jobs in the same city, so we couldn't decide where we want to go. Like me, they wanted to go in one place, I wanted to go in other place. So after getting to this and finding an agency and so on, I just decided that I'm not going to give up, and I decided to go alone. I got not in a really nice place. I went to Wisconsin Dells, which is I would say a village. No, it's a city. It's quite close to Chicago. I think it's about 3 hours. That's the best description. The program cost me around $2,000, including the plane ticket. At 20 years old, I had no chance to save this huge amount of money, which means I had to borrow this sum. Okay, to emphasize why my experience is not the best, I will just tell you the mistakes which I did, and I hope if you're going to choose these programs, you're not going to do the same. The registration part starts around September, and I did my registration, I don't know, probably January or February, so it was so late because everyone is hunting the best places and the best jobs, right? So in February you don't have so many jobs to choose from. For me it was like a challenge. I knew my English is not great. It's not even very good today, sorry about that. Anyway, I don't know which level I had, it was pretty bad, and I applied for waitress jobs. So when I got into the States, I realized like I don't understand a lot of things. This level of English obviously affected my work experience. I just remember my first day in the training in this restaurant where I was supposed to work. It was like a pancake house called IHOP. And I remember the girl which was doing the training, she was, Amalia, Amalia, give me the tray. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't find it, I can't find it. And in my head I was like, what the is the tray, what the is the tray? And she was just taking, Amalia, it was right here. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I couldn't see it. But yeah, so I was always pretending like I just don't see stuff and I don't hear stuff. The problem was that as a waitress, you get a very small salary because obviously you're going to make some tips. But in my case, I couldn't because we were so many people working in the evening and so less customers. So sometimes I was waiting like 3 hours to get a table, and probably they will not even tip me at all. So I was paid with $3.5 per hour, and I had all my tips for myself, but was almost nothing, almost nothing. I haven't wrote any ideas for this video, so probably it's a mess. But when you go to the States, you have like a visa sponsor, and this visa sponsor is in charge of you in case you do any bad things. For example, you go to a bar and you drink alcohol and you're under 21, or you're caught by police doing I don't know what, or you have some problems like medical problems, or you have problems with your job. So the visa sponsor is going to take care of you or send you home in case you're doing, I don't know, bad stuff. So what happened? I was finally fired. Yeah, I was fired. I was acting nice and kindly. The only problem was that I was so unhappy with my situation. I knew I can't give the money back when I'll come back home if I'll just continue this way. So I felt like I'm in a nightmare, and I was crying so much at the job. Like I mentioned, like sometimes I was waiting like 3 hours for one table, and like I couldn't handle it. I couldn't like play theater, like I couldn't control myself. I was just staying at the table and crying and crying and crying and going to the bathroom and crying more. One day, the day I was fired, what I did, like one of the guys working in the kitchen, he liked so much singing, and we decided to make a cover. Like we had no clients. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. It was super boring. So we decided to go out from the restaurant, like in the back side, and to sing Vivo per Lei. And we did that, and all the crew came to see us. Of course, not the managers. All the crew except the one girl which was working as hostess. So of course the manager saw what happened in the cameras, and then the next day I found out I was finally fired, which was the best news I got in the States. And the reason was really nice. My manager wrote that she was unhappy because once you are fired, they let the visa sponsor know about it. So you're in danger a little bit because you have like 48 hours to get a new job, otherwise you are sent home. And I had another job. I was working in a t-shirt shop, but they were not okay with like making documents. Like I was working on a black market, let's say, like I didn't have any contracts or anything. What I did, I had some friends working at McDonald's, and I went into McDonald's. I talked with the manager, and I begged her, like, can you please hire me in here, even though I work like 2 hours, otherwise I will be sent to Romania and I will lose everything and a lot of money, and I don't want that. So she was super kind. They didn't need it so much stuff. It was half of the summer passed already, but she hired me. For 3 weeks I was working 4 jobs at the same time, and I was sleeping around 3 hours or sometimes even 1 hour and a half per day, which was unbelievable. my program got like super crazy because I had to work 5 days a week like this, from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock at McDonald's, from 10 o'clock to 2 p.m. at Jimmy John's, and from 3 p.m. to 10 or 12 p.m. at either t-shirt shop, either souvenir shop. I was so exhausted. I remember some days when I was working in this t-shirt shop, I was literally like standing on the shelves, and in some points I managed to sleep like this. And my colleague was like supervising me. If someone is entering the shop, he was like, Amalia, wake up. I had the accommodation arranged by my agency. I was living with people only from Romania. We were 4 people sharing the same room of this cozy house, and since all of us had a heavy schedule, being together at home and cooking felt like a party. Talking about party, I had an unforgettable 21 birthday with roomies like them. Thank you. Another problem which I had in my job, and which was ridiculous, it was something I wouldn't expect. It was the language barrier, but not English one. Like, I thought, okay, I'm going to work with Americans and probably Europeans, and all of us will lovely talk English and I will get better at English. No, in this job, in the evening shift, all of us, all the waitresses, we are like people from Europe. And the managers were like, I think the main one was from Ukraine and another one, I don't remember the other two. And all the staff except me, and except the guys which were working in the kitchen, which were Mexicans.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Were coming from countries where they were speaking Russian. Not necessarily as a main language, but all of them knew Russian except me.
Good morning, fanatics, crazy Russian dude here. Did you miss me?
When we had nothing to do and we were just gathering together and just talking and so on, everyone was speaking Russian. So I felt like an outsider. Even though I had 4 jobs, and I also tried another job, but it was not for so long. I think some days. I didn't make so much money, obviously. I think the total, it was around $5,000, and the rent, I think it was 1,000 something, and plus food. So I came home with nothing.